Welcome back, everyone. Today I'm going to be reviewing the latest in the Studio Ghibli movie, The Boy and the Heron. This is supposed to be Studio Ghibli's last film. Not the studio itself, but director Hayao Miyazaki stated himself that this is probably going to be his last film, which what a shame it is, because he truly is a fantastic director. Some movies, if not all, are absolute works of art. And some of his stories are just fantastic. The imagination is amazing. The music is just something to behold. I mean, overall, most of his films are just 10 out of 10, amazing. And I highly recommend all of them. I grew up watching most of his movies. I remember one of my favorites being Spirited Away, Ponyo, My Neighbor Totoro. Kiki's Delivery Service is another great one. Just overall fantastic movies. Now I will get into some criticisms of this movie, so it will have spoilers. So spoiler alert, if you haven't seen this movie, please go watch it, then come back and watch my review. Pretty please with a cherry on top. Alright, let's get started. So my number one criticism about this movie is the fact that it was good, it could have been great, and you can easily spot where the discrepancies are. So this movie, just to give you a brief plot, basically there's this boy, 12 years old, and unfortunately in the beginning of the movie he lost his mother in a hospital fire. Because of this, his father fell in love with another woman, which looks to be the sister, and she's pregnant, and they move out to the countryside in order to get away from Tokyo during the war. And in classic Hayao Miyazaki, he runs into this fantastic place, and you know, you get the drill. But overall, I just felt, so there was a couple of plots going on in this film. It has to do with time traveling, it has to do with like this tower that has the power of basically uniting multiple worlds. The problem with this that I thought was really good in the beginning of the movie is the relationship between the son and his mother. The main character, Mahito, unfortunately he's dealing with PTSD from witnessing not his mother die, but unfortunately running towards her as the fire was going on, following his father, trying to put it out. And unfortunately they were too late, they were unable to save her. And basically there's a relationship going on there that never really crescendos. Runs into this little girl in this tower, and small little things are picked up to where it might be his mother, just younger. But there's never really a moment where he just like realizes it, and it's like, oh my god, you know, if we destroy this tower and you go back home, you're going to die. There's never a moment where the two of them sit down and have the conversation of like, you know, like the bonding moment, at least for her, but for him, the letting go moment, letting go of his mother, knowing the fact that she's going to die. And that could have been such a great like character development, plot of the story. It could have been great. It just was never developed. It was never finished, in my opinion. It just never reached what it could have been, and that was really disappointing. Basic plot, it felt a little all over the place. Characters were doing things that made no sense. Like, for example, the main character Mahito, when he gets to the world, why isn't he asking questions as to what is going on? He's just like going with the flow, because that's what I would do if all of a sudden there's talking pelicans. Why? Yeah, overall, little bit of a criticism. And the movie's called The Boy and the Heron. There's not really that much that happens with the heron itself. And it's like, okay, the plots never really got explained. Like, there was an issue with where he like kind of like gave himself a scar on the side, but then the other old lady that went through the portal with him also had the same scar, and it's like, it's just left and nothing really is explained. It'll get better if I see it again, and this time I kind of know where the story's going, so I can maybe catch a couple things if on a second viewing. That has happened before. But yeah, I just really thought that the development between Mahito and his mother was not finished. It was not well developed. It was not well ended. Oh, you're going to die if you go back. You're my son and I'm in love with you. And then they just go and it's like, what? There's nothing. There was nothing. And that was very disappointing because that's what I was looking for. It's like, yes, give me that emotional connection, that letting go, knowing even though something bad is going to happen, you just have to let go. And that's it. I was waiting for that. Never happened. Very disappointing. I love this movie. The way it looks is fantastic. I mean, Hayao Miyazaki, he knows animation. It's just beautiful. The creativity. So many of the characters and the animals, they just look great. Just the world itself is beautiful. I love the animation of Studio Ghibli. That kind of did blow my mind that I haven't seen before. Maybe I need to see some more of his animations. But in the beginning of the movie, when he's running towards the fire and everything behind him and around him kind of blurs and he kind of stays clear as he's running with the colors of the fire, that was beautiful to look at. That was really beautiful and really emotional. And even in moments when Mahito goes to sleep, he dreams about what happened, and that was very emotional. I connected with that. That was really tough to see, and I could never imagine being in his position. That's despair and it sucks, and he lashes out and you can see it in the movie that he's just lashing out because he's traumatized, and that's the basic of it. Miyazaki is really, really, really good at capturing childhood innocence. He's really good at capturing just children, the way children are. I don't know what it is, but it is truly fantastic. The character is like at the top of the stairs and he's kind of like sneaking around trying to see what his parents are up to or waiting for his dad to come home. Like, those are things, I don't know about y'all, but those are things that I did in my childhood. And yet this man captured it brilliantly. It was very brief, nothing special happened, but it's still small little things that really makes these characters come to life, and it's fantastic, honestly. Music, I will say, a little lackluster, a little disappointing, not going to lie. It wasn't the Spirited Away, like the melody that stuck to you, even to this day, that stuck to you. It wasn't like My Neighbor Totoro, the song, or Ponyo. Like, it wasn't, the orchestra or the music itself was just not something that blew me away. It was beautiful, but I don't remember it, and I saw the movie yesterday. There's really funny moments, especially when the birds show up, and I don't want to say what happens because it was pretty freaking funny, but when the birds are around, it is pretty funny. The relationship between Mahito and the Heron, it can be very comedic at times, which is much needed in this movie. My overall thoughts are, this movie's beautiful. If you're a Studio Ghibli fan, you're absolutely, unequivocally going to love it. However, if you're like me and you kind of need a little bit more to really connect with the movie, it is not, it's, oh man, I don't want people to hate me for saying this, but it was just, it wasn't finished. I feel like there were parts cut from this movie for Jesus. It ruined the movie. I think that maybe that's what happened, because it felt like there were pieces missing, because it just felt underdeveloped. The characters felt underdeveloped. There was no like climax to their relationships. It just felt like something was missing. So if you have any information about that, please let me know in the comments below. It was good. It was not the best. I would give this one a solid 5 out of 10. Not going to lie. This is truly his last film. What a shame to lose a great director, because even though this movie didn't like meet my expectations, he is a fantastic director. He knows how to make movies about children. He just captures the magic so well, and we need that in this day and age where unfortunately kind of Hollywood is dying. When you find a good movie, you like latch onto it like a leash, because holy God, we just don't see it. We don't see it anymore. And if we are losing him as a director and Studio Ghibli is left to its own devices, you know, I would hope the studio keeps putting out great work. It's a shame that we are losing him, but man, he created movies that will stand the test of time. Those are my thoughts. Let me know what are yours. Leave them in the comment section below. If there's a specific movie that you want me to review, please let me know, and I will see you all on the next one.